What's up, Virgo friends? How's it going? Welcome to my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. I am so happy to have all you returning subscribers. Thank you so much for your love and support, as well as all the newbies. Welcome to my channel. We are going to start you guys off with a little spread on career and finances. It's not really date specific. It's energy, right? There's no fixed stop or start time. So if you happen to stumble across this video, or if you were seeking it out, there's probably something you can take away, right? That being said, general messages as always. That means that not everything I say in this video is going to resonate with everyone out there, and that is totally fine and totally normal. So please only take away messages for your best and highest good. If it's seeming to fit your story, great, and if it's not, drop it like it's hot, right? You don't need to take on the messages that are not intended for you. Use your intuition and your own discretion, right? That being said, if you do want additional messages, please check your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs for additional messages, for more clarity, for more insight. You got puppers already, so we're just going to start for Virgo. All right, so this is going to be for money and finance, career-related things. There have not been a lot of pentacles showing up so far, so we'll see if it's the same for you. Perfect. I've done Aquarius and Leo so far, so... All right, so bottom of the deck, King of Air. All right, not bad for a career spread. The King of Intelligence, the King of Knowledge, the King of Thought and Clarity and Analysis and Data. All right, we'll keep that in mind as we go forward. So, Virgo, the Virgins. You are coming up as the Six of Water. So this is sometimes the card of the past, of nostalgia. It can be going back to, or making peace with the past, settling things that had been emotionally impacting you, maybe left over from childhood. It could be a childhood trauma or something that a revisiting of the past to settle the emotions tied to it. It could be just going back home to visit mom and dad, to bring someone flowers, seeing a brother or sister, or seeing an ex or something from the past, right? Typically a very happy card. Sixes are nice, balanced, even numbers. We like the sixes. We think of the lovers, right? Something or someone you love, making peace. So it's funny, Six of Water as well as Seven of Water. So the Seven of Cups, illusions, decisions, options, being overwhelmed. Yeah, so, all right, for this, are you overwhelmed to settle or reconcile something from the past? Or it could be the idea of like rose-tinted glasses, the illusions that not everything, it could be like going back to a job you once had that you were happy in. Going back to it doesn't mean it's going to make you happy again. Because perhaps you've changed, you yourself have changed. Something in your life has changed. Your circumstances have changed. Yeah, it's like there are new factors at play. So while the idea on the surface makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, maybe you're going to work with an old coworker that you really enjoyed once. There is something about the illusion of expectation versus reality. It's like, well, yeah, it used to be emotionally fulfilling, but if things have changed in, I don't know, in the office, in the studio, there's new management there. They've cut the salaries. They're tightening their budget. This is the you section. So it's almost like you're trying to sift through the facts and the fictions of something that could potentially still make you happy, but it's something involving the past or a return. So it's not a new energy. And it does feel very domestic to me. So maybe you work in like a hospitality field, like event planning, or like maybe you work at a hotel or some sort of like catering service. I don't know why that's coming up so strong, but it is. Maybe you're like, I don't know, like a florist and you do like weddings, or there's something very like wedding oriented or event, hospitality. I don't take it if it resonates. If not, whatever. And maybe making compromises too. It may have to do with the fact that if you go back, they're not going to start you with the same salary you used to have. Or if you go back, they can't bring you on full time yet, so you're not going to have health benefits. Or do you know what I mean? There's a weighing. It's interesting because there's no twos, there's no like balance cards, but it has to do with the options of I want to say like picking your battles or cutting your losses. All these great phrases come to mind when you do tarot readings. My favorite is when you think of a really great expression and then you can't think of the exact phrasing, so the whole point of it completely goes out the window. I know myself and a lot of other tarot readers have that going on. All right, let's throw a clarifier on this. Anything else we need to know? The father. Okay, so this could literally be going to work for your father. But this is the card of the Emperor, the horned man. So the Emperor is typically a good card in a career spread. The Emperor builds an empire, right? He's all about order and control, safety, making sure everything gets done just so. He can be sort of a taskmaster. He can be power hungry, sometimes in a lower vibration. But generally speaking, he looks over the kingdom of the castle, right? He's the Emperor. He's a major arcana. He's bigger than a king, but similar to the King of Wands, right? Because he's fire, he's Aries energy. He is very passionate and creative, but he's very headstrong, right? So it can sometimes be a difficult energy to deal with. And so I was sensing that too. It may be like going back to the past to deal with, it could literally be that high vibration, low vibration of sometimes this person is good to work for, but sometimes they're not. Maybe that is you kind of weighing out the options of cups are happiness, right? Emotional fulfillment. But I mean, here it can be the decisions of, well, which cups are good cups and which cups are bad cups. You can look at them and make a judgment call, but until you essentially try them out, right? To find out what's going to make you happy. This person could have an explosive temper, right? He's got that volcano and it's literally simmering out of his head, right? For some reason I am getting ruthless. It's the different decks, bear in mind that the opposing dynamics here are so opposite. It's like the kind, caring, nurturing, feminine, receptive, more intuitive, the negative not in terms of polar, like negative, positive, black and white, but I don't say negative with a bad connotation. Never mind. It made sense in my head. There's different dynamics here at play, opposing factors. And so I'm wondering what would happen if we were to merge these two, essentially. Could this Emperor coexist with this? I mean, I think you are in this cup somehow, right? In this card. This could be you going back to your past, or this could be you joining forces again with a past job, a past coworker, a past boss. I understand why there is confusion maybe about if this is a good choice. So that's you, Virgo. That's what's coming up in your section. Exterior to you, the current work environment, the current work situation is the carousel. Okay. So this is the Chariot in this deck. I love it. I love it. These cards are so great. This is called the Bohemian Animal Tarot. I'll write it all in the comment box, but the illustrations are just so great. So we know the Chariot talks about forward movement. It does talk about balancing the light and the dark, which we were just talking about, the opposing dynamics. If you want your Chariot to move forward, you have to balance the light horse and the dark horse, right? Those horses need to work together in unison to get you to your destination, for victory, for forward movement, for, improving your bank account, whatever the situation is. But ultimately, it is a metaphor for internal balance and balancing your own dark and light energies, which everybody has, right? We're all human. If something is not in balance, if something is out of order, which the Emperor would not like, right? He's all about order and control and stability. If something is out of order, the Chariot isn't going to move forward. So in the current work environment, so I sense that it's anarchy or it's chaos. It's something that at first sight looks really, oops, sorry, my computer just froze there. It's something at first sight, it looks very joyous and playful. We think of, carnivals and children riding merry-go-rounds. but it's in disarray. There's monkeys riding the horses, and some of the horses have magically, jumped off the carousel and they're off venturing on their own. So this card can sometimes speak to me about desiring freedom, getting off literally the merry-go-round, the day-to-day, the 9 to 5, the mundane aspects of your job that you're not enjoying. There's something, it's like you just want to, like, throw the whip down and go off in a new path or a new direction. And if you're feeling that way, you're probably not super balanced. And again, this is external to you, so this is representative of what's going on in the workplace or your current work environment. And I would say for those who are currently unemployed and in between, okay, so this is the lack of a job, a lack of stability in your life, right? I think you're desiring forward progression to move forward, but ironically, moving forward, what you're considering is actually going backwards. Again, the past, whatever that is for you. Again, this may have to do with taking a pay cut, and it's like it's a difficult decision. You're weighing out the pros and cons of is it worth it? Let's throw a clarifier on the carousel here. Is there anything else we need to know about the carousel for Virgo? The moon. So another card of illusions, of secrets. These cards frequently go hand in hand. So I'm wondering if I'm wondering if there's something about the illusion of leaving this job. It's like it's not as good as it seems. Sort of how I was talking about with the rose-tinted glasses. There's something really attractive about going back to the past when things were simpler, when times were simpler, when you enjoyed the work more. Again, when you worked with the coworkers you loved or this or that. Something about the illusion of leaving this anarchy, this carousel. You don't know everything. And I mean, quite frankly, I don't know everything. They're not telling me a lot with this card right now. I always just see this ominous hand reaching up out of the water. And to me, that talks about, I mean, not only the idea of like, oh my God, it's a scary zombie hand, like what's going to happen, but the subconscious things that you're not consciously aware of, but exist inside you. There's something about, again, the moon is the light in an otherwise very dark sky. So what you're seeing isn't being seen with total clarity right now. It's shadowy. There's vague ideas of figures, shadowy figures, but you can't totally make out what it is. So this could talk about carousel being the chariot forward movement. Whatever you're moving into, you may not know. There may be some sort of uncertainty. Oh, okay, well that makes sense. Uncertainty about where you're headed. Or about the fate of this company that you're currently at. Where is this company headed? The carousel that's gone to anarchy, the craziness that I mean, it doesn't feel like you love this job. Maybe that's what's driving you to look elsewhere, potentially, is if you're worried about the long-term stability of this carousel job, right? Maybe you work with horses. Or on a farm, or I don't know. Maybe you work at an amusement park. Carousel. I don't know. Let's throw one more card on this moon. I want to give you guys more and they're just not telling me anything. The Eight of Swords reversed. Okay. So in the upright, it's a mental prison. It's feeling stuck. But it's all in our head. It's an illusion. right? With the moon, we know that. It's an illusion. It's not real. It's a boundary we've created for ourselves because fear is holding us back, right? We're afraid to take off the blindfold and realize that we could step out of this, I want to say comfort zone for you. I don't always get that with this card, but something is holding you back, and maybe it has to do with fear. Maybe that's why you're staying on the merry-go-round, you're going round and around. Is fear keeping you there? But it came in reverse. So, okay, then I guess I would take that to mean that, is there liberation of some kind? Are they letting people go at your work? Right? The horses are going free. People are no longer tied, are no longer enchained, imprisoned in this job. And so, yeah, maybe their future is unknown. There's something scary if people are being released. And so maybe that's why you're trying to go back to an old job. If this isn't your story, it's not your story. Don't force it to fit. But if there's layoffs, potentially that might be why you're going back to another job. And I don't know, this may have to do with your father in some sense, or some figure of authority that I think you are a little bit intimidated by, their presence or the way they run the company. Maybe their ideas are just really different than yours, Virgo. So anyway, let's go to we're already at 16 minutes. The heart of the matter is the Queen of Water. Okay. Aw, can we just appreciate that for a second? So cute. So the heart of the matter is the Queen of Love. Who do you love, or what do you love? This could also represent your mother. There's father and mother aspects here very heavily, especially the idea of youth, going back to your childhood. If you got laid off, maybe you have to move back home, right? Maybe, your funds are tight and you're having to move back home. And if that's the case, I do sense that, like, it's your last resort. It's like your last option and you don't want to do that. Or maybe it's returning back to the place you grew up. And there's something really lovely and warm about it, but there's also something kind of intimidating, and it's not nasty. It's just, I think you are a little bit fearful or intimidated. There's some volcano that could erupt potentially. You know what that is. It's going to be individual for all of you. But yeah, there's some sort of conflict that could arise here with this person, whatever that is. So do you go after what your heart tells you to do? Let's see. The Ace of Shields. Okay, so the Queen of Water, the Queen of Cups, Cancerian energy. You have two cards of Cancer here if you have any Cancers in your life, Virgo. You also have the Ace of Shields, so the Ace of Pentacles. That's good. It's new beginnings. It's a seed that could grow into the oak tree, right? It's new potential. If you were to plant this seed in a fertile, abundant field, it would reap really good rewards, right? In the future, right? But it's just the beginning. It's the starting point of starting something new, but in the past. And the way that this is shown, it's winter, right? It's chilly. There's to me, this talks about the idea of cycles of seasonal change. The way the moon talks about cycles, the way a carousel talks about cycles, circles going around. There is an adjustment period. If you were to, I want to say, move home or go back to that old job or that old boss that you worked for, there would be an adjustment period where we would need to metaphorically wait for the snow to thaw. You can't plant a seed when the ground is frozen solid, when there's ice, right? It's like you have this idea, you have maybe a little bit in your bank account that you are looking to grow in the future. But yeah, it's like you need to thaw it out a bit before you can plant that seed. So what I was getting at here is a waiting period. It's not gonna, whatever this opportunity is in your past potentially, it's not going to come to fruition instantly. There's not going to be instant gratification for the work you're doing. And there's something about nurturing it and putting in the effort, warming it up with love, because she's the queen of love, right? And I mean, the father here, right, the emperor, he's ultimately a king of fire. So he has the potential to be warm and nurturing, but emotions are not something he wears on his sleeve. Again, you would have to work at it. It's not something that's going to come instantly. But I do see potential here. I always say that when you get the Ace of Pentacles with a water card, what do seeds need to grow? They need water and they need sunlight, right? Any type of project or job, career endeavor, you need to have love, right? You need to love it to want to invest all your time and energy in it. So there's love for this. Whatever this new beginning is that you're looking to grow or capitalize on, the fact that it's with the Queen of Water is a good sign to me. But again, it's like looking into the future is where there's going to be a happiness, reward there. Let's throw one more on. How are we for time? We're okay. So the Ten of Shields. Okay, finally, we got the Ten of Shields. There's huge potential in this. But again, bear in mind, to go from the Ace to the 10, this is the card of legacy. It's the card of building a family, having children, having grandchildren, having dogs, having the car, the perfect house you've always dreamed of. Long term, that Virgo, this does not happen overnight, right? And this is your card, Virgo, right? Is that right? Yeah, Virgo. Okay, just checking. And then, so we start with the Ace to go to the 10. There's a long transition there. It's not going to happen overnight, but do you see how it goes from the wintry chill to blue skies and sunshine, the windows open, right? There's a changing of the season. Years have passed. There's cycles. But again, the card of family, building a family and legacy, it's good that you have the Queen of Water here. The mother card, something to nurture and grow this career with love, with adoration, to nurture it like a baby, right? There's huge potential for growth here. So yeah, your ambivalence of going back to the past, figure out what this fear is. Because I do think it's fear with this Emperor. Figure out what is holding you back. Is this just a relationship that needs to be mended? In the past, I mean, that would make sense, right? Maybe this is your father telling you were never good enough at this career, right? Maybe it's deep-seated, how I said at the beginning, childhood trauma about going after what it is that you want, but maybe you don't know because your whole life you've been told you can't have that. You don't deserve that. You're not good enough at that. That cup will never be yours. I'm not saying this Emperor is wholly bad, but I do sense that maybe this is the cause or the effect, if you will, of things that your Emperor has said to you in the past. Your Emperor, again, could be your boss. Could be a lot of different people. But instead of going around and around in chaos, wondering, what is my fate? What is my destiny? Is this illusion? Is this reality? This is about closing out a cycle, I think. Closing out a cycle, potentially of fear of something that was holding you back, getting off the round and round of the carousel and going for what you want, okay? Let's talk about your guidance card. Your guidance is coming up as the High Priest, so the Magician. Beautiful. Such a great card, right, with the fox. The tools are all on your table, Virgo. You have everything that you need currently to make this dream a reality, but it talks about the idea of manifestation, right? And for those who aren't super into the whole like tarot manifestation thing, what does that really mean? That means checking in with your mind to understand, to fully comprehend what it is that you want in this life. It's that spark of the idea of, hey, maybe I do deserve this cup. Maybe I could go after this cup. It could be forming the plan potentially of going after this. It's the inception of the idea of, I think, of breaking free from this carousel. Maybe you've been living this ho-hum life and it's only recently that you've had the idea that, hey, like, this isn't it for me. I don't have to be stuck here. This came out in the reverse, right? I could liberate myself from this. This doesn't have to be my life. I don't have to settle for this. The magician is powerful. He creates things and brings them into his life. But again, it all starts with him. It starts with that seed inside of him. And Virgo, you are an earth sign. So the fact that you got a lot of pentacles, it's very encouraging to me. The heart of the matter, the base of this is love and money in a career spread. Hell yeah, Virgo. Yeah, I would encourage you to look at what do you want to create and what is it that you love. And if you know that instantly when I ask you that question, it's worth going for it despite whatever this is, right? Do not let other people block you from what is meant to be yours. This could be making an apology in the past to yourself for not going after the things that you've always dreamed of going after. Maybe it's intimidating, but there's only one way to find out, right? All right, Virgo, that's what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed that. Please do like, share, subscribe. I will see you guys very soon to do your June monthly readings. Oh my God, it's almost June. Thank you for tuning in with me. I always appreciate your love and support and wishing you guys all the best. See you soon.